Hello everyone, welcome back to our platform AgriEdict. I am Tulsi, your mentor for the subject entomology and nematology. Up to here, we have learned some of the important concepts which are related to general nematology. Now it's our time to learn about the economic nematology. Economic nematology, which mainly comprises of different types of nematodes, its life cycle, biology, and some of the symptoms which are related to them, and also management methods which are specific to each nematodes. In this economic nematology, we are going to see all these topics. And because of time constraint, I am going to explain you only a few important nematodes which are important for JRF point of view. I will be covering root knot nematodes and cyst nematodes. The other types of nematodes you can get it from Bajaj and Walia, which is like self-explanatory. Please cooperate with us. Nematodes. Today we will start this topic. In this topic, I had made into part 1 and part 2. Because if I go in one single stretch, it will be boring. So I divided into part 1 and part 2. In part 1, I'll be explaining what are root knot nematodes, what is its history and how the name has been derived, and systemic position, host range, biology and life cycle. In today's class, we will be going to see what are root knot nematodes, history, its systemic position, how it is placed, and host range, biology and life cycle. Whereas in second part, we will be going to see host plant parasitic relationship and also symptoms caused by root knot nematodes like above ground, below ground symptoms and also management methods. So let us start our today's lecture, root knot nematodes. The generic names, we know that what is the scientific name of root knot nematode or genus of root knot nematode? It is Melodogyne. How the name has been derived? It has been derived from the Greek word. Greek word that is melodo, which means melon, apple or god, and gyne meaning mature. This name was given as the mature female will attain in the shape of that is swollen, melon, apple or god. Whenever the mature female starts feeding, the posterior part will become swollen. It assumes in the shape of melon or apple. You can see in the picture. So only then they have given the name as Meledo. And what is gyne? Nothing but female. Female assuming in the shape of melon. That is nothing but Melodogyne. This is what it means. That is resembling apple or god-like female, the shape which they acquire on maturity. The common name we know that root knot nematode. The root knot nematode they have been given because the unique symptoms which is caused by this nematode is knots. That is knots which are formed on the roots. We will see how the root knots are formed in detail in the part 2. So only they have given the name as knots or root knot nematode. Coming to the history of this root knot nematodes, in the world, the first time Berkeley has identified or reported this type of nematode in the greenhouse cucumber from England, when it is during the year 1855. In the world, in the year 1855, Berkeley has identified root knot nematode from glasshouse cucumber from where? England. This was first time reported. Later, they have been assigned different names by different scientists because some people will be having different opinion that they will tell in the different, they will call it in different name. Like this, it happened. In the year 1879, Cornu has named it as Anguilla marioni. In the year 1884, Muller has named it as Heterodora rudicicola. And in the year 1887, Goldie named it as Milodogyne exigua. Up to, that is till 1949, it was called as Heterodora marioni. It was not called as Milodogyne up to 1949. Later, Chitwood, he was the person who is that reason behind the separation of genus names from different species. He separated the genus, that is Milodogyne, from Heterodora. He made the separate classification, that is Milodogyne and Heterodora. They were separated. And now the name Milodogyne has been kept. In the year in the year 1901, that is in India, the first time root knot nematode was reported by Barber. That is from where? In tea from Kerala. This is also one more important point. From these slides, the two most important point you have to remember, that is in the world, the first time root knot nematode was reported in the year 1855 by Berkeley, and that is from Glasgow's cucumber in England. Whereas in India, it was reported by Barber in the year 1901 from tea, that is from Kerala. Coming to systemic position, we know that nematodes belong to phylum Nematoda, class Sassarinetia, and order Tylenchida. It is like common thing. You will be knowing most of the nematode, that is plant parasitic nematode, belongs to the same phylum Nematoda, class Sassarinetia, and order Tylenchida. Coming to suborder, it belongs to Haplolamina, superfamily Aplolomydea, and family Milodogynidae. This is important. Root knot nematode belongs to the family Milodogynidae. You can easily remember by seeing its genus name only. And subfamily Milodogynae and genus Milodogyne. Coming to diagnostic characters which are related to these nematodes, like in females, mature females, males and juveniles, the characters differs, which makes easy for their identification. Mature females normally will be swollen, melon-like, with elongate neck at the anterior end. So only the name has been given as Milodogyne because of the characteristic shape which is assumed by the females. See, you can see in the figure A, these are the mature females. Here anteriorly they will be having elongate neck, and posterior part will be bulged, that is assuming like swollen shape or melon-like. Whenever it starts feeding, the entire nutrients, whatever it takes from the plant, will start accumulating at the posterior end. So only the posterior end will assume in the melon-like shape. And the body wall is soft, white and not forming any kind of cyst. So only it has been separated from the Heterodora and formed into a new genus, that is Milodogyne. Cuticular striations concentrate perineal area, forming a specific types of patterns. Here you can see in the figure B, these are the cuticular striations which are seen only in the posterior part. This is the most important thing you have to remember, because it only stays with the this character only present in the Milodogyne species. This is the most unique character which will helps for identification of this kind of nematodes. Perineal patterns which are present on the posterior part of the nematode body. And coming to stylate will be very short in nature and well developed basal knobs, and esophagus well developed, median bulb large and isthmus short. These are like self-explanatory taxonomical characters. We know that stylate is comprises of conus, shaft and knobs. Here the shaft, that is basal knobs will be well developed, and esophagus will well developed, and median bulb is large and isthmus will be short in nature. Coming to reproductive system, it is having didelphic, that is gonoduct. Didelphic? Two gonoducts. Presence of two gonoducts. And prodelphic. Prodelphic means it is projected anteriorly. Ophistodelphic means it is projected posteriorly. Gonoducts coiled, occupying most of the body. Eggs are laid in the gelatinous matrix outside the body. This is also an important point. Eggs which are laid by the nematode, this gelatinous matrix is secreted from the rectal glands. Tail will be absent, anus and vulva will be terminal. These are the characteristics of matured female. Next, now we will see some of the characters which are related to males. Males are usually vermiform in nature. They doesn't have any particular shape. They're just like normal vermiform in shape. And their length is around 1.5 to 2 millimeter long. Stylet and esophagus are well developed. Spicules slender, gubernaculum simple, and bursa is absent. This is important point. As I told earlier, the perineal patterns are commonly used for identification of the nematode. This is the most important point for the exam point of view. Next is second stage juvenile. Second stage juvenile, that is J2 stage, is actual infective stage in case of Minidogyne. Because it varies from nematodes, some nematodes will be having J2 as infective stage, some nematodes will be having J3 as infective stage, some nematodes will be having J4, that is pre-adult stage, will be act as infective stage. So you have to remember this point. J2 act as infective stage in the Minidogyne, root knot nematode. How they will look? They are also vermiform in shape and their length varies from 280 to 500 micrometer long, stylet slender, and about, that is, it is related to stylet, about 10 micrometer long with rounded basal knobs. Esophagus, that is esophageal glands overlap the intestine ventrally. This is important because it also varies from species to species. That is from one nematode to other nematode. Here the esophageal glands will overlap the intestine. How? Ventrally. In some nematodes they will be overlapping dorsally also. Tail elongate, conoid with pointed tip. You can see in the picture, this is the pointed tip which is the tail. Next is economically important species. That is, in case of nematodes, we know that root knot nematodes are polyphagous in nature because they attack wide range of hosts. The total number of species, genus which have been identified in the root knot nematode are around 80. Out of 80 genus or 80 species which have been identified in root knot nematode, only 4 are most important on global basis. That is Minidogyne incognita, Minidogyne javanica, Minidogyne arenaria, and Minidogyne hapla. These are the 4 important nematode, that is root knot nematode species, which has been recognized as a economically most important on a global basis. Some of the differences between these 4 nematodes are, I will tell only 2 points which is to be taken care, which has to be remembered. Minidogyne arenaria, hapla, and incognita, they doesn't have any lateral lines. You can see no distinct lateral lines are present. Whereas in javanica, distinct lateral lines are present. This is important. And one more important point is Minidogyne hapla, it is having punctuations near the tail terminals. Whereas in other types of species, it doesn't have any punctuation. Only these 2 important points you have to remember, because if you go on remembering each point, then the other points will definitely volatilize. So only you note down some of the important points, like whatever I am going to tell. Minidogyne javanica, it is having distinct lateral lines which are present, but they are absent in other 3 types of species. Whereas the one more difference between these 4 types of species is in Minidogyne hapla, it is having punctuations near the tail terminus. Coming to the distribution and host species, as I told, it is having vast range of hosts. It can attack more than 2000 plant species. You can see the range of host species, how it is attacking. So it is difficult for control also. Minidogyne hapla, as it is restricted to the temperate areas and high altitude areas of tropical and subtropical zones. This is important because it is like specific for this type of nematode. Hapla is mainly restricted to temperate areas. What does it mean? It prefers low temperature. And also it can be seen in hilly areas of some of the Himachal Pradesh and Assam also. So this is important. Milodogani hapla is restricted to temperate areas. Host include almost all major crops belonging to different groups like vegetables, fruits, ornamental plants and fibers. However, cereal crops are poor host or non-host of this type of nematode. Here the cereal crops act as poor host for the nematode attack. Other than these four, there are again some of the nematodes, some of the root knot nematodes like Milodogyne graminicola is specific to rice. Milodogyne, next Arinaria is related very serious in groundnut. It is in majorly in Gujarat areas. Milodogyne exigua attacks coffee, most prevalent in Karnataka. Milodogyne indicus, it is in citrus, most prevalent in Gujarat. Some of the important species you have to remember which are very specific to each host. Milodogyne graminicola, rice, and it is having some of the typical, it will show some of the typical symptoms like horseshoe shaped, galls which are terminal. This is also important. And here Milodogyne arinaria will attack groundnut, which is more prevalent in Gujarat, exigua coffee in Karnataka, indicas in indica in citrus Gujarat. And it also like Milodogyne incognita and javanica, the other two species. The most prominent host are vegetables and fruits. Vegetables in the sense tomato, brinjal, chili, okra, potato. And in case of fruit crops, grapes, papaya, peach, mulberry, pomegranate. And in case of some pulse crops, chickpea, green gram, black gram. And in oilseed crops, groundnut and sunflower. And in plantation crop, ginger, pepper, turmeric, tea and coffee. Here, these two are most devastating species. Coming to the biology and life cycle of the root knot nematode, root knot nematodes are sedentary endoparasites. Whenever we talk about the biology, the first thing comes to our mind is what is the nature of the nematode, what is the parasitic relationship with the host. That is having sedentary in nature and endoparasitic in nature. That means it will enter into the, it is a root. It will enter inside the root system and cause infection, and it will stay at one side only. That means it doesn't show any movement after entering into the root system, and enjoys food substances which is drawing from the plant roots, and doesn't have any migratory movement. So only they are called as sedentary endoparasites. Next is saccade females are completely embedded inside the root galls. Males are vermiform in nature. They will wander in the soil and are non-parasitic in nature. Males, whenever they cause, after causing infection inside the root system, males will come out from the root system. In soil, they start moving and they are non-parasitic in nature. Reproduction is generally parthenogenetic. What is parthenogenesis? It is nothing but production of offspring without fertilization. In some cases, like after the J2 entering inside the root system, adverse environmental condition will cause them to turn into males. That means females won't produce. In such cases, their reduction in egg production will be noticed. Next is coming to the life cycle of the nematode. Life cycle, whenever we talk about the life cycle, that starts from the eggs. That is, eggs are deposited in the root surface. Here the females will secrete a gelatinous substance on the root surface in which eggs will be deposited, and the oviposition will continue about 10 to 12 days, and each female will lay around 200 to 400 that is eggs held together in a egg mass. That is, the group of eggs are nothing but egg mass or egg sac. Sometimes egg masses may be formed inside the roots, particularly in the compound galls. Egg masses may be formed inside the root galls. The next is embryogenesis will take place after that. That is about 1 to 2 weeks. It will take time, and each egg masses contains eggs at different stages of the development. The first stage, juvenile, that is J1 stage, will molt within the eggshell and becomes J2. Here the J1 will undergo molting and it turns into J2 stage. As I explained in the biology class, I think every plant parasitic nematode, most of them, the first molting will take place inside the eggshell itself. Whereas in case of the nematodes virus transmitting nematodes like Dolichodoridae, belonging to the family Dolichodoridae, the first molting will take place outside the eggshell. Now the J2, it has turned into J2. J2 will hatch out, move freely in the soil in the search of the roots. This stage is also known as pre-parasitic J2. Here for the hatching of J2 stage, there is no requirement of any stimulus. As in case of cyst nematodes, there is need of stimulus for hatching, but it freely hatches out in the environment. And now it is time for searching the new host. And that stage which is going to search the new host is known as pre-parasitic J2 stage. It moves randomly in the soil and get attracted to the root exudates which are secreted from the plant roots. Now after searching the plant roots, it starts penetrating the roots just behind the meristematic zones because it is more prone to infection, as they are having more young cells and dividing cells will be there. So there is no question of any immunity. So it is more prone to infection. Later, penetration is facilitated by repeated stylet thrust, and also some of the enzymes are involved in breaking of the eggshell. That is, entering inside the root system. By secreting some of the enzymes, it will allows for the nematode to enter into the root system. The J2 will move through the root cells with the head near the vascular tissue, remaining body near the cortex. I will show in the figure. Let us have some idea about the anatomy of the root system. Cross section of the root system, that is anatomy of a root. These are the root hairs. Next layer will be epidermis. After that, the next layer is cortex. Next will be endodermis. You just have idea about the anatomy of simple, that is basic root system. The first layer, that is outer, will be root hairs, and the first outer layer will be epidermis, and next will be cortex, and next will be endodermis. After endodermis, here will be the pericycle. Inside the endodermis, you can see xylem vessels. These are vascular tissue which are present inside the endodermis, like this. In between the xylem, here comprises of phloem. These are xylems. This is phloem. like this. Whenever the nematode has entered inside the root hairs, that is inside the root system, it starts entering like this. After entering inside the root system, it starts embedding inside the, that is head will be present near the vascular tissue, and the posterior part will be present in the cortex. You can see here, this is the cortex layer. Here the posterior part will be lying inside the, that is cortex layer, whereas the anterior part will be near the vascular tissue. You just remember this point now. And at this stage, J2 will become sessile and initiates the development of feeding sites, that is known as giant cells. Giant cell, this is most important for JRF point of view, because many times they have asked the question, the giant cells are formed in case of which nematodes? It is in case of root knot nematodes. There are specific terms related to different nematodes, because in giant cells are formed by root knot nematodes, and in case of cyst nematodes, it is Syncytium. Like this, it differs from one nematode to other nematode. After the formation of giant cells, now it has become sedentary, and it starts taking the food material, whatever present in the plant, and it starts growing up very enlarged. One more important point is, during the J2 stage, the sex differentiation will occur, where the juveniles will become, that is the females will acquire V-shaped genital primordia, whereas in males it will be I-shaped. This is important. Females will acquire V-shape, whereas in males it is I-shape, that is genital primordia. Under optimum condition, the second stage molt will occur in about a week, and J3 is formed. Here the second molting will occur outside, and there it starts forming into J3 stage. Immediately after J3 has been formed, again one more molting will take place, which lead to the formation of J4, that is the J4 stage before the adult stage. And now the J3 and J4 will retain the old cuticles which is seen in the J2 stage. In that, the pointed tail of J2 is still visible, which is attached to this J4 and J3 stage, that is known as spike-tailed stages. Spike-tailed stages. This is also a unique character which is seen in the root knot nematode. After that, the body starts growing in the wet, and the genital primordia will start developing further. After that, many like organisms, organs will develop. Adult, it starts forming into matured female and matured male. But these stages, that is the stages whichever seeing after the J2 stage, are non-feeding, as they are not having any stylate in them. At the last mode, the adult female will become sac-like because as it starts feeding, it assumes in the shape of sac-like or melon-like, and stylates will start appearing at this stage, and the reproductive system gets fully developed with vulval opening making its appearance. Whereas what happens to the males which are present in the root system, they start assuming in the shape of vermiform, and they are coiled inside the J4 cuticle, and it starts emerging out and leave the roots, and it will enter into the soil system, that is outer environment. But the males, one more drawback is the males are short-lived in nature. And as I explained, adverse environmental conditions after penetration will sometimes cause us to form into males. Only males will be formed in such type of extreme conditions. The whole life cycle, when we talk about the whole life cycle of the nematode, it takes place around 25 days at 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. It is the normal life cycle of the nematode, which is to be completed at normal temperature. It is around 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, which is most commonly seen in all like root knot nematode species. But in some cases, like during the winter season, as the temperature is very low, the nematode is not able to cope up with the environmental condition. So it takes for the nematode to complete its life cycle, and it starts enlarging its life cycle. That means the prolongation of life cycle will happen, which may ranges to 60 to 80 days depending upon the prevailing temperature. Thus, we can tell that 7 to 8 overlapping generations can be completed within a year. That means cycle of the nematode is completed within 25 days, that is Myllodogyny. But when we can talk about the year, that is around 7 to 8 overlapping generations can be completed within a year. Next concept will be the host parasitic relationship and symptoms and also management methods, which I'll be explaining in the part 2 of root knot nematode lecture. In this lecture, what are the things you have learned and what are the important things to be remembered is Myllodogyny is also called as root knot nematode. The females assume in melon shape or apple or swollen. And presence of perineal pattern, which becomes an identification tool for this Myllodogyny nematode, root knot nematode. And also some of the distinguishing characters of matured female, juvenile, infective juveniles, that is J2 stage, and males. In males, the most important thing is bursa is absent. And next, what we have seen, the different host ranges of Myllodogyny, that is Myllodogyny graminicola, Myllodogyny arenaria, Myllodogyny incognita, javanica, and those things. You remember some of the important species which are related to specific host. And what is coming to biology and life cycle of the nematode, Myllodogyny, that is root knot nematode, shows sedentary endoparasitism. This is important. Next is life cycle of the nematode. When you talk about the life cycle of the nematode, you have to remember spike, tailed stage, and the life cycle, how many days it will take? Normally 25 days within 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. That means 7 to 8 generations can be completed within a year. And one more important point is J2 is infective stage. These are all important from today's topic, from today's lecture. And the next class, I'll be explaining about the host parasitic relationship. So meet you in the next lecture, next class. Thank you.